Today we're going to be talking about 7 more Valorant skins that need a 2.0 release, because in my last video it performed really well, and I have a couple more skins which I truly believe deserve another release in Valorant. So hit the like button below and subscribe, because I will be doing a face reveal at 100k. Anyways, let's first talk about the first skin in this video, and this is going to be Recon 2.0. This is a skin line I would love a 2.0 version, because usually when a 2.0 version comes out, Riot has a habit of making slight improvements to the new skins, such as a new finisher, making the kill effects match the variant, or even giving custom firing sounds like with what they did with Oni 2.0. And even though Riot rarely updates older skin lines with a 2.0 release, there is still a small chance they might do that, as they did it with Sovereign 1.0 with the release of Sovereign 2.0. That being that all the old Sovereign skins got new updated kill effects. This is a skin line I really want Riot to make a 2.0 version, because I have made it very clear in many of my skin ranking videos that I like Recon, but I wish it had more effects, which Riot lazily never added, like a finisher or custom firing sounds. And if I had to guess what guns would be in the 2.0 release, a Vandal, because that is basically a no-brainer, plus I found this really cool concept by Snack VLR, a classic because I think that would look sick with randomized laser and flashlight attachments, a Stinger because I feel like that would also look cool with attachments, and lastly a Bucky because I feel attachments would look super good on this gun too. For the knife, I think one that would thematically match this skin line perfectly is a bayonet, because Recon is all about attachments, and when it comes to the bayonet knife, the whole point of it is that you can attach it to the barrel of a gun, so I think it would just match perfectly. I have an honorable mention for this Recon Deagle Classic skin by Snack VLR, although I do not think they would ever give us a Deagle Classic skin, because a Deagle is just simply way too big and way too powerful for the classic, although I do believe they could possibly one day give us a Deagle Sheriff skin, but the only limitation of that is that in first person it would look and feel like a Deagle, but in third person it would look like another Sheriff skin with Sheriff animations, because if you didn't know, the way custom animations work is that they are only in first person, not in third person. There are also a couple guns that look differently in third person and in third person, like Aim on Deer, which normally Aim on Deer has this massive blade attachment, but in the third person model it is not there. So if they would ever give us a Deagle Sheriff skin, it would most likely act like this, where in third person it would look like a revolver, but in first person it would be a Deagle. Up next we have Ruination 2.0. The original Ruination was released alongside Sentinels of Light, and these were 2 League of Legends themed skins. As we all know, the Sentinels of Light did get a 2.0 release, but this was not the same for Ruination, so let's fix that. The first gun choice will obviously be the Vandal, as the original did have a Phantom. Meanwhile, when it comes to the other weapons, I would include a Ruination Sheriff and Katana. This is because in a DLC for the Ruin King game, you can find 2 DLC skins for 2 League characters, where they take on the style of the Ruin King, and as we can see, we can get a Ruination Sheriff and Ruination Katana based off of these 2 skins. Not only would these look really cool in game, but they would also tie into a past game made by Riot Games. For the other 2 weapons, I did find this concept by Same Mew, which also made a Ruination Bucky, Marshall, and Classic. Although personally, I don't think they would go for a Classic and would instead go for the Ruination Sheriff. Overall, I just think that the Ruination skins are some of the most forgotten skins in the game, and if they released a 2.0 version, I definitely think more people would pay attention to this skin line. For number 3, we got Mystbloom 2.0. Now, Mystbloom is a skin line that I often meme, because the average person that uses the skin line sounds like this.
What's up guys, Anthony here, and today we're gonna be playing Sova on Sports and Left.
I think I just traumatized everyone watching, but yes, the first gun in this collection would of course be the Mystbloom Vandal, and I have this really cool concept up on screen, which I found on ArtStation. I would also love to get either a Mystbloom Stinger or Spectre, because we do not have a Mystbloom SMG of any kind at the moment. I'd also want to get some form of machine gun, either an Odin or an Ares, but I'm leaning more towards the Odin because the Odin barely has any good skins in the game. And lastly, for the secondary, I would probably go for something like the Classic. Lastly, for the knife skin, I would love if they added some form of either Mystbloom fan or if they added a Mystbloom sword that's like all flowery, because in one of my past videos, I did say I would love if they introduced more swords in the game, but with a brand new animation style. In my opinion, Mystbloom 2.0 would be perfect for that. Now we're going to have Ion 3.0, and I know that there's already 8 different Ion guns in the game, but I saw this really cool concept of an Ion Ghost, and that made me think, what if we got 4 more, you know? So for the pistol, of course, we would get the Ion Ghost, just like what this concept shows. For the other guns, I think an Ion Judge would work pretty well alongside an Ion Odin. And lastly, for the last third gun skin, I think something like the Ion Guardian would work pretty well, or maybe even an Ion Outlaw. For the knife, I did find this concept for an Ion Butterfly knife, but personally, I don't think there is a chance of this ever happening because we already have so many butterfly knives. Instead, personally, what I think would probably be more feasible is an Ion Energy axe. That being, you'll pull out a normal looking sleek black and white axe, but the blade will basically emit a holographic light blue blade. Overall, I just would love if they release an Ion 3.0 because for some simplistic looking skins in the game, they look really good. In a similar fashion, for number 5, I also wouldn't mind an Araxys 3.0 because for the most part, we got most of the important guns in the game, but there are still a few I feel like we are missing. First of all, an Araxys Ghost, because I did find this really cool concept, and I think this would fit right into the game perfectly. Alongside that, I would love some form of SMG as we do not have one currently at all. Plus, I did find another concept for the Araxys Stinger. Overall, this guy is absolutely crazy because he's just cooking up concepts left and right. We also would probably want to get some form of machine gun, so that being an Araxys Odin or Ares. And lastly, for the shotgun, I do think the Araxys Bucky would work best. Now for the melee, I did find this concept by the same guy, and this is the Araxys Karambit. There are currently so many different Karambits in the game, but I think it's possible for us to get an Araxys Karambit. For 6, we got Amondir 2.0. Amondir is probably one of the most slept on skins in the game, and I definitely feel like it deserves more love with a 2.0 release. And when it comes to selecting the guns, the main thing we have to consider is that blade attachment on the end of every gun. So of course, we're gonna have an Amondir Phantom, but when it comes to the secondary, I will be going with an Amondir Classic, because going with an Amondir Classic would most likely look very similar to this gun from Black Ops 4, that being the Strife pistol with a blade attachment. When it comes to the sniper, I think the best one would probably be the Marshal, because I think the Operator and the Outlaw would look a little silly. And when it comes to the machine gun, the Odin is already bulky enough, so I don't think we should put it on the Odin, and instead I think the Ares would be a better fit. Replace the bipod with a knife and call it a day. And lastly, when it comes to the knife, I think a really cool concept would be a whip sword similar to Takeda from Mortal Kombat 1. Lastly, we have Nocturnum 2.0, because the first line was absolutely amazing. The first gun in this 2.0 collection, of course, would be the Nocturnum Vandal, as we already currently have the Nocturnum Phantom. Second, I think a Nocturnum Shorty would be pretty cool and would be a pretty cool option. The third gun would be the Nocturnum Spectre, as we currently do not have a Nocturnum SMG. And for the last gun, I do want a Nocturnum Operator, because I think that would look absolutely amazing in the game. For the knife, one thing has to be crystal clear, and that is the gimmick has to transfer over. That being, when you inspect a knife, it will transform. So in my opinion, the perfect way they can do this is they introduce some form of Nocturnum knife, where in the inspect, your character literally rips it in half and makes it into a dual wield dagger, where then if they inspect the knife again, they're able to put it back together. But that's basically it for all the 2.0/3.0 skins. Hit the like button below and subscribe if you enjoyed, and stay tuned because I will be making a video where I will be talking about 7 skins that I do not think will ever get a 2.0 skin line for various reasons. Anyways, I'm off to go play Cyberpunk.